Hi everyone, it's Lindy on here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today I thought we'd make a fun little set of note cards you could either use for yourself or give as a gift. So I thought we'd get started using the Hero Arts Nesting Rectangle dies. These are from the Infinity Dies collection. And then we're going to be using the Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth Premium White cardstock in a 100-pound weight. And then from Hero Arts, we're also going to be using this floral, and this is the Hero Florals collection, and this is the rose stem. And you can see that it also has some beautiful sentiments on there as well. So now, grabbing the Infinity dies, we're going to take the 6th largest one here, and we're going to die cut that 3 times. So I'm running it through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 machine, and then I've gone ahead and placed one in my Misty stamp positioner. We're going to be inking up the stamp using the Spectrum Noir Finesse ink, and this is the Noir Black. And I went ahead and I did stamp that twice to get a nice dark image. And now we have all 3 of those panels stamped, and I'm heat setting them quickly with my heat gun. So now, using the Spectrum Noir Tri-blend Markers, and you can see it has a light, a mid-tone, and a dark tone, and the ends are labeled. We're going to be using the dark red, the pale pink, and the dull green blends. I'm going to start off with this pale pink, and starting with the lightest color first, I'm going to show you here how I colored in about 3 different petals here. And I do have a colors chart that I like to refer to. It makes selecting my colors a lot easier, and I can also see how they're going to blend. So again, starting with the lightest color, I'm going to saturate that petal really well. Then I'm going to go in with the darker color just down here towards the bottom, and maybe a few little areas on the side there. And then I'm going to grab that mid-tone and blend that dark into the light. And then I'm going to go to the lightest color and blend all of those colors together. Now I'm going to do the same thing for all 3 of these petals here. And you'll see that as they start to dry, you can see the blending a little bit better. You can see the highlights a little bit better when they start to dry. So you can see that there a little bit now as that petal is drying. So now I'm going to do one more petal, and then I will color the rest of these off camera. I didn't want to bore you with all the coloring, but I did want to show you that using just the one marker of these collections, because they've done all the work, the hard work for us by selecting the 3 colors that go together, it makes it really quick and easy to color these florals in, or any images for that matter. So now I am going back to that dark red blend, and I'm just going to do a little bit in the center here, just for a little bit of contrast there in the center. And don't worry about the middle of the flower. We're going to be covering that later with a little bit of a pearl embellishment. So then I went ahead and I did the little rose buds as well. And I quickly did that, showing you this exact same technique that we did before. And then I'm going to use the dull green to do the leaves. And again, I just wanted to show you these flowers strictly using the colors that are in the Tri-blend marker, not really adding additional colors. And I do think that you get a really nice blend. I used the, we're going to do a pink, a lavender, and a yellow flower. And of the 3, I would say the yellow was probably the least contrast. So in that case, you may want to add another color to it. I didn't, and I thought it was very nice, but it was probably the least contrast that I noticed of all these 3 colors that I used today. So there you can see that's all blended out, and you do get a nice shading. So now, using the light green blend and the lavender blend, I'm just going to show you one of the petals on this flower here, because I did want to show you, I thought the lavender blend had a nice contrast here. Again, starting with the lightest color, going to the darkest color. And the nice thing with these markers is the ends are labeled as well as down the side of each marker, so you know exactly what you're working with. And the lighter end is a lighter color on the marker, the indexing, and the darker end is a little bit darker color. So you always know which end you're picking up. And I just went ahead and blended that exactly the same way. And you'll see here that I thought you got a really nice blending with that. And I went and used that red again, the dark red, for the center of that one as well. Now using the citrus blend and the dull green, this is the yellow one. And you can see, although you did get a nice shading, it's not quite as dramatic of a contrast as the others. And then I also use the orange blend on this one just to do the center there. So going back to my dies here, I'm going to take that second largest rectangle, and I'm using some black 100-pound cardstock. And then I'm using the Hero Hues premium cardstock in the lavender, and this is also a 100-pound weight, and the Kiwi as well. And with those two, I'm going to take the next smallest one, which would be the third largest rectangle, and I'm going to die cut those out. So I have 2 of the Kiwi, 1 lavender, and then all 3 of the blacks. And those are going to be the layers for behind these colored cardstocks. So now going to the dies again, I'm going to take the next smallest one. So that would be the 4th and 5th largest dies. And I'm going to place these, I'm going to center these on the Kiwi cardstock. And I want to make sure that there's an equal space all the way around along the sides and between the 2 dies as well. So you want to spend a little time here making sure that you center this up. Now on my platform, it gives me the instructions on the Spellbinder 6 machine of what the layers are in order to do this. So you can see I have the die. I'm going to flip that over so the cutting side is up. I'm going to take one of these flexible mats and my embossing plate, and so that's the sandwich, and I'm going to run that through my machine. So it will not cut the cardstock, it will just emboss the cardstock. So you'll see here that you're going to get this really, really fun embossed layered rectangle around the edges of this. And it's a nice way to add additional framing without adding more paper and more layers. So I'm going to show you this one more time. Now I didn't have to attach my dies together again. I just left that tape right on there since they were perfectly aligned. Then I'm going to lay those down and press that into place. I'm flipping it over so the cut side is up, placing my rubber mat and then my embossing plate, and running that through my machine. So you would want to use the instructions for your specific machine. And then I'm going to just peel that away again, and you'll see this beautiful frame. I just love this. Now this is the technique that has been around for quite a while, but I had kind of forgotten about it, and I was trying to think what I wanted to do to add some more interest, and I thought this just added a little something without adding a lot more layers, as I said before. So now we have all 3 of those ready to go. So the next thing I want to do is put a little sentiment at the bottom of these. And I also want to die cut some sentiments as well. So I'm going to use from the Hero Arts collection the Congrats Stamp and Cut set. So it comes with the stamp and the die. And this is the Hello stamp and die set, and you get all these beautiful sentiments with these as well. And this is the Thanks stamp and die set. And I love that you get all of these little sentiments that you can match up with the word. So I'm using that black cardstock again. This is a 100-pound weight, and I'm going to die cut this. This is the word hello, and I'm using my Sizzix Sidekick machine, and I'm going to run that through. So I did run that through, and I'm using my Tim Holtz pick tool here just to get that out of the die. And you can see how pretty that is. So I went ahead and die cut 3 of those. And I'm using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to glue these 3 layers together. This is going to give us a nice thick embellishment. We'll just give it a little bit more substance to it. So you can fuss with those a little bit, making sure that you line them up as best as you can. And then I'm just going to put a little acrylic block on there to hold that in place. So I went ahead and did the congrats and the thanks as well. Now I'm using my Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen. This is the crystal clear pen. And I'm just going to go over all of these words with this glitter pen. And that's going to give it a nice little bit of glitter on the top there. So now I want to position down the word hello, and then I'm going to put that sentiment below it. And this one's going to say thinking of you. So I'm just lining that up in the bottom corner. Then I can remove the hello. I'm closing the lid on the Misty. And then I'm going to grab these inks from the Hero Arts Libby's Purple Garden. These are the mini dye ink pads. And I'm going to grab that moss color. And all of these products will be listed below, so just look below and you'll see a complete listing of everything that I'm using here. And I went ahead and stamped the sentiment, and I did stamp that twice just to make sure that I got a nice stamping, because with the dye ink sometimes you don't get a really good impression the first time because those are water-based dye inks. So now with this next one, I'm going to be using this next sentiment, which says, "You made my day." So again, I'm just going to close the lid on the Misty Stamp Positioner, and I'm going to ink that up, and again, a couple of stampings on this. And you can see that the thanks, you made my day. So now on this last one, I'm taking the Passion Flower, which is, again is from that same set of mini dye ink pads. And for the congrats, you can see that it's in two separate sections. So I just want to place it on the card. It's going to say, happy for you. And then I've removed it, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment. So now that we have all of those stamped, we're going to go ahead and build up the layers here. So I do have my ATG gun. This is the 700, and this is a double stick permanent tape. And I have a A2 size card, which is a top folding card. So I had cut it at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored it at 5 1/2. And that makes an A2 size top folding card. And now I'm going to add the Kiwi cardstock to the black as well. So I'm just centering everything up here. And now with this first one, the yellow flower, I just want to pop that up a little bit. So I'm going to use my Gina K foam squares. These are the white foam squares, and you can see it has this nice little easy way to get the little foam squares out. And I do want to say that these are super strong, super sticky. I mean, they kind of got stuck to my fingers, and so do be aware that don't press it down completely until you're 100% sure, because it really does stick well. And so now I'm going to just take a little bit of that Nouveau Deluxe adhesive and put it on the back of this thanks, and then I'm going to glue that down. And I just think that looks really pretty. I think the sentiments are really nice in these sets, and I think you get a lot for the money. So now I'm placing the acrylic block on there to let that dry. So I did all the other two the same way. Now I'm using the Sparklettes. This is the Barefoot Beach, and these are from Buttons Galore and More. And I just wanted to show you get all these cute little items in here. You get some little stars and some pearls and the little pink embellishments as well. We're going to use these little pearls. And I'm using my Marvy Jewel Picker to pick those up. And we're going to be using for an adhesive, this is a super strong multi-matte medium adhesive from Ranger, and just a little tiny dot. And I do like to check it off to the side first, because have had it kind of spurt out of there, like you get like a bubble and it kind of pops. So just put a little on your scrap paper before you go to your card, just because you've spent all this time, you don't want to have an accident with it. So I'm just gluing all of those down. So now you can see each of these cards. We have that beautiful rectangle frame layer there, and lots of layers visually to this card, I think. And the thanks, you made my day. And this is the congrats, happy for you. And again, the beautiful cardstock. And I really am enjoying these markers. I think they do a great job. So I've used them in a few videos and I'll continue to use them. So if you have any questions, let me know. So those are the 3 cards for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit me at pinkwhisperdesigns.com. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.